Hello, everyone, and welcome to yet another very powerful, impactful, and useful training capsule. Now, before I tell you something about this topic, let me ask you a question. How many of you have felt sometimes a little disoriented, nervous, or shaken up before having a conversation with people? It could be a one to one situation or one to many, all of us, right? Now, as I speak to you, I remember long back in school, I think I was in class 5, and our school had an assembly just like all these schools, and after the assembly would get over, there would be a provision to have someone on the stage read the thought of the day. So it was my turn that morning to read the thought of the day. So I had prepared very well. I had a little piece of paper, I wrote it, and then my name was announced. So I get to the stage, and as I get closer to the mic, and as I get closer to the audience, and I get closer to people looking into my eyes, those 2,000 eyes, I felt scared, nervous, and shaken up. Somehow I managed to read the thought of the day, and I quietly came back. And I remember, oh my God, that was difficult, right? Now, we all have had a situation like this in our life. Today, we're going to talk about how do you handle a situation like this when you're having a one-to-one conversation or one-to-many conversation, one to many people. But how could you be impactful when you have to have a conversation like that? I'm going to give you some very useful in practical ideas today. So welcome to a fabulous program on courageous conversation. All right, you are courageous. Let's learn how to have a great conversation and how to really win in conversations like those. Now, let us understand how to make such courageous conversations possible and impactful. Now, over the period of time, I've had a great privilege of speaking to thousands of people all over the world. And I realized that one of the most important factors which is responsible for my success is this. Before I get on the stage and I see all these thousands of people waiting for me, you know what I do is I close my eyes and I anticipate that people, when they hear me, they're going to be enjoying. When they hear me, they'll find it useful. When they hear me, they'll feel empowered. When they hear me, they're going to get a lot of value. When they hear me, they will feel inspired. So I close my eyes and I imagine people cheering up for me. I imagine myself doing a great job before them. I imagine myself performing like a star for them. And guess what? That has always supported me in delivering very effective and powerful keynotes. My dear friends, when I read about anticipation, I realized that anticipation is one of the most important qualities or the most important thing every single leader, speaker, trainer, coach, presenter, performer, actor, dancer, anyone who's about to perform, they all perform in their mind first before they perform before the audience. It is so amazing. It is so important to anticipate success. I was reading about football, a great sport, and I read the captain before he gets himself into the most awesome crowd of people. He closes his eyes before he goes into the stadium and he imagines his team and him doing a wonderful show. He imagines the cheerleaders cheering for him. He imagines audience rising on their feet and giving a huge round of applause to the entire team for such an amazing performance. It not only gives him a lot of confidence, it also prepares him for a great show. All right. One of the greatest amazing authors of all time, a great French author, Nicolas Chamfort, wrote once, and he said, anticipation leads the way to victory and is the spur to conquest, which means it inspires you to win. So it leads to victory and inspires you to win when you anticipate success. Great leaders, managers, amazing actors, performers, players, before they get into their real arena, what they do is they anticipate success. Here's my request to you. If you want to be a king, and you want to be a queen, you want to win every conversation that you want to have with people, please, before you go and speak to those people, before you go and speak to have a meeting with someone, let's say you have a conversation with your boss planned up, okay? And you're not very sure how the conversation would further, move on. Close your eyes before you go and have a conversation and tell yourself, I am strong, I'm going to have a great conversation, I'll be able to put my ideas forward effectively. All right. And give that confidence to yourself. You will all need that little boost up, right? And then you see you will be able to have the right conditioning of your mind. You will be able to have the right energy, and you'll be able to have the right motivation and confidence to have that conversation. So, my first submission to you today, very, very powerful, is this: anticipate success before you achieve it. All right. You got to dream it before you achieve it. Right. Beautiful. Walt Disney says, if you can dream it, you can do it. Right. So always imagine success before you actually achieve success. Now, here's the second very important point I want to share with you. You know what? You and I, we all have heard about this great leader, Steve Jobs. Steve Jobs, from zero, created a huge organization called Apple Computers, which today is one of the most valued companies in the world. Right now, I'm going to tell you something about Steve Jobs that you may not have heard of him. You know, Steve Jobs was an abandoned child, and he was not raised by his biological parents. Luckily, he was adopted in his early years, and when he was adopted, he realized that he lacks a lot of confidence. He had challenges having conversations with, investors, his parents, with people for many years. Over the period of time, he realized that if he continues this challenge, he would not be able to create such a huge empire. So what he started working on is he followed a few steps before he would go and have a conversation, and he used that structure for every conversation that he would have. That not only made him a great leader who would impactfully speak with clarity and inspiration, but also made him one of the greatest presenters we know today. Now, Steve Jobs has a very interesting message for us. His message for you and for me today is this: if you really want to be successful in a conversation, before you have a conversation, you must have a structure to that conversation. All right. And today we're going to talk about how could you have a great structure before you have a conversation. Now, let me give a demonstration of that to you. Imagine you're going to have a conversation with one of your counterparts, okay, or maybe let's say a conversation with somebody of a different team, and you would like to propose the idea of automating this particular work that they do. So you go and tell them, hey, I've got a system which can help you automate, and you'll be able to achieve faster results. This is how it works. Are you interested? Well, one way of having a conversation. Second, I want you to structure that conversation. So first and foremost, what you're going to do is you will structure the conversation that I'm going to have a quick, short rapport building before I further get into discussing business with this person. So I'm going to meet this guy Rohit, for example, and say, hey Rohit, how are you doing? What a pleasure to see you. You're amazing, full of ideas, and I'm glad that we work so collaboratively together. You know, Rohit, I have something which I would like to share with you, which can really help you speed up your processing and will help you cut down on your time. Will you be interested? Now, this is about building the context. Is he really interested in taking something from you today? He said, yeah, I'll be excited. Great. Let me tell you, you know what? You put a lot of effort since morning till evening, 6 o'clock, sometimes till late further. You stay in office compiling reports. And I've seen that you have to really, really do it on a daily basis without fail. And in your absence, your team does the same thing. How would you feel if there is something which can help you achieve more in less time, and can you kind of cut down your time by half? Wouldn't it be exciting? He says, yeah, that would be exciting. Now, let me explain to you how this wonderful little software that I have for you works. Imagine you do it like this. The moment you populate data, it automatically picks up information and it creates all the reports that you're looking at. Let me do a demonstration for you. Ta, like this, and like this. And then you ask them, how is it? Great. Now, when can we start implementing this? So what you've done is you delivered a message, and then you're moving towards helping him move to taking an action. I call it the call to action. So what you did first is you built a good rapport. Second, you explained something which matters more to him because it's going to save his time, right? And you explained meticulously. And then after that, before you were wrapping up the conversation, you wrapped up the conversation with a call to action, with an outcome. So when can we work on this? How do we get started? What is your plan around it? How can I help you on this one? This is the key. When you're going to have a conversation with anyone, your superior, upward, downward, sideways, anybody in the world, please go with a structure. And remember, there are 3 important elements to a powerful structure of a conversation. The first is called set the context. All right. Check if the person is in the right mood. Is he really prepared to listen to you? Have some time building a little rapport with those people. Okay. Then deliver the message impactfully, highlighting benefits to the user with whom you're going to have a conversation. All right. And then last, and a lot of people miss this one, by the way. And the last and a very important one is called end with a call to action. It will not only help you stay focused, but it will also give you a lot of clarity and will also give the other person the clarity in terms of how your ideas will add value. So please understand, when you speak with structure, you're more confident, you'll be able to follow a plan, and you have better chances to have a meaningful discussion. So my second important takeaway that I would like to give you is called go with a structure. You got three elements to the structure as you see on the screen right now. Now, here's the third and a very important strategy I want to share with you. Now, you know what happens is, there are a few people who by default, when you speak to them, you're not very sure about how the conversation would go because of your previous experience with them. You know that whenever you try to approach to them for something, they haven't really given you a good go ahead. Sometimes they've acted differently, which really kind of made you feel a little upset, or you felt that I think I just can't move on further because the moment I discuss something, eventually things don't move further because it gets difficult for me to carry on. The person has resistance to it, and that kind of makes me feel a little restless. And you are a very fast-paced person. You are amazing. You want to really make that happen. Now, and when you're having a conversation with people like those, what is important is you have to go with the conditioning of your mind that I'm going to have a conversation with, let's say, Mr. A. Mr. A is someone who will probably show a lot of resistance, who would not be okay with the idea initially, who might not give me a lot of opportunity to explain. Okay. And come what may, I will go with the structure. I will do a good context setting. And even if it takes a little while for me to explain to him further, I am going to stay calm, relaxed, and at peace with myself. And I'm going to manage emotions really well. Okay. I will not give up, but I will be calm and I will be at peace when I'm having a conversation. Listen, if you really want to have a great conversation with people, and this is what I've learned after speaking to some of the greatest leaders in the world, that come what may, the toughest conversation, they don't lose their cool. Okay. They don't get angry. They don't get unnecessarily emotional. They're very calm and composed when they're having a conversation. So my third takeaway that I would like to offer to you with a lot of care and love that I have for you is this: be calm and manage emotions, your emotions. Okay. You have to be absolutely relaxed when you're having a conversation like this. And sometimes some people somewhere will take time to understand you. But that doesn't mean you're wrong. You're great. All you need to do in a situation like that is be calm so that you can be relaxed and you can have a more purposeful, structured conversation. Okay. So come what may, stay calm. All right. So we learned three ideas for now. Let's revise them very quickly before I tell you the fourth and my very important idea. Here's the first one: anticipate success before you get that. Second, structure your conversations very effectively. And the third is be calm and manage emotions really well. And I know you can. If you can, give me a thumbs up and say, absolutely, I can, and I will. Of course you will. Now, let me share with you something about this great guy. My dear friends, I'm going to talk about a wonderful, wonderful film star and great Bollywood actor today. Now, this actor, before he became an actor, I think he was 13 years of age. He was in school. He was really bullied by a lot of people because he couldn't speak effectively. When he was 19, he goes to his father, who is a very well-known director, and he says, "Dad, one day I want to be actor." Couldn't speak well. He would stammer. And then he realized, come on, I can't speak a line properly. How can I become an actor? And then you know what he did? He made a commitment to himself. Come what may, I'm going to improve on this one. I will become a better version of myself. So he got trained. He got himself practicing this multiple times every single day without fail. He practiced before a mirror. He practiced on the camera. He practiced and took feedback from his coaches and was on a continuous journey to improvement. And guess what? After practice, after so much of commitment, one fine day, he was so amazing. He became a superstar. And he was the one who gave us some of the greatest, most amazing hits. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm talking about the one and only Hrithik Roshan. Yes, Hrithik Roshan, in his younger days, when he was back in school, he would stammer, he would not be able to speak effectively. But he was committed, and he knew that commitment alone would not help him. He needed right guidance and practice. The most important point that I want to build up here is you know how to talk. Come on, you're a champion. You know how to structure. Of course, you can, right? And you kind of balance yourself really well. What you really need to do before you're going to have a conversation with someone, which is important, is please practice, practice, and practice. All right. Practice prepares you for perfection. All right. It prepares you for a great performance. So there is no substitute to practice for winners like yourself. Winners become winners because they repeatedly practice and practice and practice. And I know you also would love to practice because you want to be flawless, you want to be effective, you want to be impactful when you go and speak to someone. All right. So my fourth submission is practice. Hey, let's quickly revise all the four key things that we've learned right now. Winning courageous conversation, you got to have four key elements. Here's the first one. One, anticipate success. Two, structure and restructure and have those three steps well defined. The third is stay calm and manage emotions, stay relaxed. Okay. And the fourth, very effective, is practice, practice, and practice. Okay. My dear friends, I am sure you will find these tools useful the moment you start practicing all that I said and using all that I said. I want to congratulate you for completing this wonderful course. You are all set to win now. But let me tell you, my dear friends, you will win only when you choose to win. You will win only when you start using these ideas. You will win when you're living this learning. I know you will live this learning for sure. The best way to connect with me is find me on LinkedIn. Simply type Ashish Singh Star Consulting, enter, and you will find me right there. I'm going to accept your request, and you're most welcome to send a message to me, ask a question. I'm going to give my very best to answer that for you. It was a great pleasure serving you today, my dear friends. But before I wrap this course, let me tell you, my guru said that long back, as in everybody in the world, every master was once a disaster. Yes, T. Harv Eker, one of my gurus who trained me, he told me that every master was once a disaster. And you can be a better version of yourself if you're on a continuous journey to keep on putting these learnings to use. I know you will. I know you will because you want to be a role model for the rest of the world. I know you will because you would like to overcome your shortcomings and you will become more successful. So my request to you would be that please put that to use and stay in touch with me. Thank you once again for joining this program. I look forward to seeing you soon again. Have a wonderful day and a wonderful life ahead. God bless you. Thank you very much.